Well, welcome to Conscious Gatherers. Tonight's episode is number 113, and today's date is February the 6th, 2024. And my name is Beverly Thompson, and I'm with AJ Royce.
Hello.
Well, welcome. And we've got quite a few things that we're going to share with you tonight, and tonight here, or in this episode. And I'm going to start off with saying, have you had anything, I'm going to use the word interesting, unusual, happen to you that is not necessarily explainable in this reality? So we're going to go into a little more deeper esotericness. I think that's a word. Tonight, to try to bring it around where it's explainable for you all to understand, but to contemplate, because I think with tonight's episode, it's going to be a lot to contemplate, and it's like, wow, we're living in an absolutely amazing world, and when you look at it as such, and as we share our insights, I think you're going to realize the same thing, that it goes my butts. I would mention that in a couple of episodes ago, and man, do I catch myself saying but. Anyway, Royce, I'm going to love for you to start off and tell us some of your adventures today.
Oh, man, life gets quite interesting and befuddling and all kinds of crazy stuff. But, we've been talking about merging realities for quite some time now. And actually, we've been talking about it for ever since the 90s at least. But today, I got to experience some things. It was just like one thing right after another, bat, on the way to Bev's house this morning. And first off, I was at a four-way stop, and there was a truck on the other side, and as I went by him, it was a very large truck, and I was thinking, wow, this is an amazing piece of machinery. And as I looked at the driver's side, there was no driver, and I thought, oh, there was no driver, okay. And just kept on going, and then it didn't take long before something else happened. What was the next thing?
Car passing you.
Oh yes. There was a car who was getting a little antsy, and so they started to go around me on the right hand side, and I saw them put on their right hand turn signal so that they could get in the right hand lane and go around, and then the car just simply disappeared. So I didn't really even then think too much of it, because it was like the whole morning there was just one thing right after another happening. And so I knew that we had been talking about things are going to get a little interesting, and since we're heading into a new phase of living, we haven't done this before, so we don't know exactly what it looks like. But I was seeing this morning how the transition for where we were and where we're headed, what that looks like, and it's a little odd.
Well, I find interesting. When Royce was telling me her story, as she walked in the house, she's like, what the heck? We laugh about it. And you really didn't let that stick with you as to what in the hell's going on here. But you think that, but
it actually internally to me, even when it was happening, it was just like, well, there's something else. So
Add it to the long list.
Yeah, the list is getting longer.
We have joked about it. So if we were to write a book about everything we've seen in our lives, nobody would believe it.
I know, but maybe we should be writing down more of it because
it gets a little wild at times, and the only thing you can do is laugh. Well, I mean, you don't have to laugh, but we laugh, and because it gets
well, we
ridiculous.
take it very seriously, but it is kind of funny when you relate it to everyday living these days, because it just doesn't fit.
Yeah. So
category all its own.
So you think we're moving into the new Earth? Yeah. And it's, okay, what is this Earth? What is this Earth? And you start questioning all of that. Okay, that's going on right now.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Well, that's how the day started. So, and then we're going to continue with some insights received today. So I'm just going to go right ahead and dig in. Are ready?
Okay.
All right. I heard these words, and I thought, what? And the words are still the night, more to break, the egg is cracked. And I'm like, huh? And then I heard, let's make it simple. The outer world is the inner world, and the inner world is the outer world. Thus, the worlds are one. You can take that lots of different ways.
Yeah.
And then the following. In your physical reality, you see your world through your physical eyes. You use your 5 senses. That world is expanding. And what you perceive, you believe, or what you believe, you perceive. Is this world not being shaken or challenged? The finale has started. What you thought was real is not. It is a make-believe world. Crumbs of reality are coming out. Sharpen up. So after I received this, I'm like, what do I do with this? So I'm sharing it with you all. So if it all makes sense to you, good. However, Roy says, I may be able to help you out. Here's my insight. So please share, Ms. Royce.
Okay, this is what I got. When we take a step back and look at the universe, we see a conglomerate, a multitude of things, separate parts of what the universe is. But step back a sizable distance, and the separate parts seem to come together to become one unified thing. Is it better to see the distinctive parts or to see the whole? Linger a while with your thoughts on this and examine your feelings on the parts or the whole. It becomes apparent that it is easier to feel more lighthearted about the whole as opposed to the parts. Why is this? What makes the parts less conducive to lightheartedness? Could it be that our past experiences have tainted our perception of the parts? How may this be resolved? It boils down to the little things. The little things bother us and worry us and distract us. The little things cause us to lose our focus on the big picture, where the importance of everybody and everything are an intricate stitch in the tapestry of life. So when those little annoyances begin blocking your view, shift your thoughts and your inner vision to the big picture and breathe a sigh of relief for you have just discovered the door which leads to freedom and happiness. So, here we are in these days when there's so much going on, and some of it is a bit irritating. Just step back and look at the big picture. Look at this beautiful planet. Look at life. It's amazing how it works. That big picture is the thing that helps you to find that door that leads to freedom and happiness.
Thank you.
Sure.
As I was listening to this, and the word observe comes back in pretty strongly.
Yeah, being the observer instead of the reactor.
Yeah, it is. And when you're observing, then you're not jumping into the chaos.
Yep.
And because it is a chaotic world, it appears to be chaotic. But there's order in chaos, or however that goes. But out of the chaos out of this chaos we're going through, I feel we're going to be, how do we say that? An order, but and not an order that we're being manipulated, anything like that. No, it's realizing who and what we are.
Yeah,
as
so it's
human
like
beings.
a divine order instead of what we're used to seeing as order, because that's a manipulated thing.
Well, another thing that had come across my desk these last few days, and this gets a little bit more esoteric, but I'm going to go with it because it explains a little bit more what we're talking about. Do you agree? We're here together. She's looking at me like, okay. And this is something that most of it was channeled, that I channeled, excuse me, in 2001. I thought, wow. And then in 2009, I wrote more. So, I really I can remember some of this, but really not until I came across this. So I'm going to share it with you all, and it may help explain about this inner and outer world stuff. So it's like, what the heck? All right, it's called the inner universe. The inner universe is a spiral. What is movement? The phi factor. I just keep going. And by the way, Royce, if you want to jump in, please do.
Okay.
All right. Energy in the third dimension spins at a rate that equals itself on the other side of its polarity. Therefore, you experience duality. Third dimensional energy can swing from one side to the other. In higher dimensions, there is a faster rate of spin. The spin distance is shorter. Therefore, there is less duality. Thought is energy. Energy is everywhere, is everything, is all. What you see as an expansive space is an illusion. In the lower 7 dimensions, or the physical dimensions, space is a product of the mind. It is the genesis of understanding what one is perceiving. Energy behaves in such a way that what you see is a composite of like attracting like. The cosmos acts like a magnet, 2 ends of a spectrum that is actually curved, much like a horseshoe magnet. Energy travels in a loop, passing the null or center of its opposites. The center or null of your universe is the great central sun. The material world lies within this system. Your universe is traveling in the infinity or figure 8 configuration. Your solar system is being pulled back towards source of the great central sun. Therefore, your spin of your energies is getting shorter and faster. It is in a physical sense. Your energy is being compressed. The physical part of you is changing. Let yourselves move into this compression. And so as we exist physically now, well, let me start over again. Okay, let yourselves move into this compression. In doing so, you will not experience the duality as you have experienced. So as we exist physically now, we simply cannot tolerate the faster rate of spin. It is not possible. Even though this was written a few years ago, I think that's changing now, where our bodies can take it.
Because our bodies are becoming more light.
Yeah, exactly. So is this now more understandable in a more scientific form? Know that each one of you is a big part of this process. As you move further into the fourth dimension, you will have a deeper understanding as you witness your own biological tendencies changing or morphing into a more flexible form. This process is exciting, yet maybe disconcerting, like today, to many as they see themselves in their various aspects of their being. What you will witness is a great transformation of the biological body into a more homogenized frequency. There is an equation for this process, E = mc squared. It is a new postulate for you to chew on, but you will find that all is rapidly changing into new forms that will also change your current physics of understanding. So, got that?
Well, there was something that you said that really caught me. It was pretty close to the beginning, and that is thought is energy, and putting that together with it, energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. That proves right there that thought and matter, mass, synonymous, because energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. So thought is energy. Thought has weight. How could we not create with our thoughts?
Yeah. So we've used the word going into the void. The void is all. And so the void is energy that is not manifested into a form. It's my understanding. And so as our thoughts enter into that void, then our thoughts put it into form and then take action.
Yeah, because that void it's a conscious matrix, and which looks empty to us on this side of it.
Is the void not what we term God? So in other words, there's no judgment God out there. There's none of that, or God's here to help us. Yeah, but it's you that is within this whole matrix of understanding that is God. Did that make sense?
I'll have to listen back to that one.
Wow, it really is hard, difficult to explain, but it's God is. If we even want to use that word God, because we have bastardized it so much, as a being, and
But I love that word, because to me, it's limitless. There, you can't put a limit on it. We don't have a word that really fits that.
Limitless.
Because you can't put it in a box. It's everywhere. It just is.
To
too much to too much to box up with words.
So I've had people say, well, where did that come from? You know, we think it's coming from somewhere, something, but then there's the inner universe and the outer universe. It's,
And the ancients said, to know thyself is to know the universe.
Which says it all. Wow. All right. Do you have any more comments?
Not about that.
All right. All right. Do you want to go into? All right. Can we boil this into something it's relatable, because the freedom that, as you said, your last thing that you said about is it bringing you freedom and happiness when you look at the whole thing as one versus trying to pick out certain parts. And so right now we're going through picking out those parts, correct?
In the way the world's functioning right now?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you can feel the higher vibrations, yet you can feel some of the lower vibrations. So people will put their consciousness in both places. You know, it doesn't mean at the same time, but you can go down, what I term down here. How's that make you feel? Not very good. I was like, what are we doing to ourselves?
But, you know, recognizing it, and we're doing that faster and faster now. So the faster you can recognize that, oh, wait a minute, this doesn't feel so good, or wait a minute, I am aware that I'm going in the wrong direction, then we get to rectify it right then. So.
And I think a lot of we talked about some of the exposure that is happening around the world, and finding out more about some of the crappy things that have gone on, and some are just really what we use, if you want to use the word evil, that are really pretty awful, really awful. And so some of that is coming out, and people can get lost in all of that because they can say, how can this happen on this world? How can this be allowed? How can, oh, blah, 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 blah. And but when you look at the whole, is that's being exposed. And so as we're moving into that higher vibration of ourselves, that part of duality is less and less as we create that faster spin, if I recall how that was said. So we're not going to hold on to it like we have unless you choose to. But if you don't like the way it feels, don't hold on to it.
Yeah. It's you know, in the past, I think we have put so many steps and so many words to doing something to make it right, when it's as simple as having the thought. When you have the thought, you have the energy and the creation of something new. So just have the thought of what lifts it up, and the rest will follow.
Follow your heart, everything will fall into place.
Yep.
I woke up having a dream and reciting that to somebody in my dream this morning. So all else will fall into place. So when you follow your heart. Right now, this reality is crazy. And we're saying, how could we create it? You know, we got sucked in. You know, we've got sucked in. And yeah, there is still a faction on our earth that wants control, and giving in to their fear mongering only delays your own feelings of happiness, joy, and peace. Then once you see yourselves as creator of your own reality, then your thoughts will turn into something a little brighter, is what you were just saying. Yeah. So, okay, what do we do with all this? And if you know, especially with what stuff's coming out, is to bring us up to that higher vibration of being, go into that heart space. Put your consciousness in that heart space, and that will get you into that peaceful state of being. And so, if this is a meditation, then do it. If it's walking through your forest, then do it. If it's walking along your beaches, then do it. What makes you feel that joy? And so, allow yourself your own love when letting go. That's important to me. Your own love is God's love. Yeah, to me, that's synonymous. Everything we said, it makes total sense, right? Yep. Yeah, so this is the catalyst, that will change that, is your own love. And that's how we're changing the world.
Yeah. And, you used the words, we were sucked in to, the fear-mongering. And I'm going to go back again to something that I recited twice before, so this is the third time. And it's a quote. It was quoted in the movie After Earth. It was said by the character, the actor was the name Will Smith. And here's what the quote is: "Fear is not real. The only place fear can exist is in our thought of the future. It is a product of our imagination, causing us to fear things that are not in the present or may not ever exist. That is near insanity. But do not misunderstand. Danger is very real, but fear is a choice." And I was thinking about this morning and thinking about, okay, I understand that fear is a choice, but how is that? When you and knowing that danger is very real. Okay, well, I need more clarity on this, and this is what came to me: that fear, an initial fear, acts like a catalyst which alerts you to danger. But then after that, when we are aware of the danger, from that point forward, fear is a choice. So you don't keep the fear, but let the fear, that initial fear, wake you up. Something's not right here. You need to leave this area. You need to do something to protect yourself, or whatever it may be. That's just your alarm system. And then, hopefully, we will make the choice to let go of the fear.
So it's paying attention to what comes to you.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you need to take action, well, obviously you're going to, if there's danger involved, then you take action.
Yep.
And then the fear, since you've taken that action, the fear leaves you, because then you've
made another choice.
Yeah. Makes total sense.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all. It's been, as we said, a very interesting day, and these insights coming to us on the inner universe, inner self, what Royce had shared, the choice, danger, choice. I mean, fear all works together.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Any other words of wisdom you have?
Love each other. That's the only thing that I can say that's the wisest thing that I could say, is love each other. Because this really is a very exciting, precious time to be alive. We have seen so many things coming to the surface so we can release them. We're making some choices. So just love each other, support each other, so we make it through this working towards something higher, hand in hand. So much nicer when we can do it hand in hand. There's so much power that comes from people working together. In a biblical text, it speaks of where two or more are gathered. There I am, When you put two circles together, they overlap, and there's a Vesica Pisces in the center. That's a place of great power. And so let us use that power between us, the power that unites us, to do something for the greater good. We're fully capable. But it begins with love. Love yourself and love others, and act it out. Thank you for staying.
Thank you. I'm going to have to say ditto. So well said. So just remember that loving yourself is a biggie. The more you love yourself, the more you love others, because, it works that way.
Yeah, it overflows.
It does. It does. Well, we thank you for joining us and listening to what we have to offer and share. And indeed, exciting times continue. We're seeing more of ourselves in a much bigger whole, W-H-O-L-E, in holy and whole way. And I do feel a lot of people are starting to realize this, but it's like, how do we put this into words? And it's tough for a lot of people, but people are starting to realize this. We were sitting at a restaurant today, and not that I listen to other people's conversations, however, at the table, yes, about 3 feet away, and just their whole conversation of trying to understand the world. Just leave it at that. But I'm looking at Royce saying, just so we're both smiling, and I didn't say anything. This guy was on a roll, so I said, yeah.
But to hear people having conversation, talking out things, working them out, and trying to get a grip,
That's what he was doing,
yeah,
too.
Yeah. It's just a wonderful thing.
Yeah, it is. So it's just, you could hear the excitement in his voice.
Yeah.
Because he was trying to figure it out. The other guy was like, yeah. I was kind of shaking his head, I guess. I didn't turn around and make myself known.
That's how growth happens, when we can express ourselves freely.
Why can't we?
Yes. Exactly. We can.
And we are.
Yes.
Remember that. Do not be intimidated.
Yep.
So
here we are. We're not intimidated.
Even though you see trucks without and cars that disappear, like, okay. But okay. All right. I don't know if you can hear us, but thank you for joining us tonight. And we'll be back in 2 weeks. So not sure if you're hearing this. Another call comes in, it just cuts me off. But anyway, the next time we meet is going to be on February the 20th, 2024. And we look forward to sharing with you then. So indeed, it's my books say, I'm looking at one of my books now, it's called Mystery of the Universes. And we're really figuring out this mystery.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, the inner universe, the inner becomes the outer is the inner. It's all one, all ball of wax. All right, thank you again. We love you all, and have a wonderful time observing what's going on in yourselves and loving that self that is you. Good night.
Good night.